Hello folks, welcome to Caffeinated Techie. So today we are going to solve the problem of a Leetcode medium problem. The question is meetings rooms 2. Now this has been a very famous interview question that it has been asked in various companies in the last 6 months, as you can see from the list. So let's go over the problem. So as per the problem, we are being given an array of time intervals, where each time interval is basically contains the start time and the end time, and we are supposed to return the minimum number of conference rooms so as to held the meetings. Now each conference rooms can only hold one meetings at the very max, and if there are two meetings which are overlapping with each other, we require two meeting rooms for that. Now let's go via the first example and let's analyze why we require two intervals for it, right? Now for this input statement, we are being given the first meetings interval as the starting time as 0 and the ending time as 30, right? Now let's imagine that this is this axis actually represents the time as we go from the left to right. Fine, so as to just visualize it, and this 0 represents the starting time and 30 represents the ending time, and in between there could be many basically the duration of that meeting. Now for the second meeting, it says that it starts at 30, it starts at 5. Now 5 might be somewhere here, right? And it ends at 10, right? Now the now the third meeting starts at 15. Now 15 might be somewhere here, that is greater than 10 and less than 30, correct? And it says that it ends at 20. So 20 is somewhat here, correct? Now if we see from this example, we can see that there is an overlap of there is an overlap of the first meeting and the third and the second meeting, as well as the first meeting and the third meeting, right? So at any given instance of time, we are seeing that we have an overlap of two meetings, and we cannot have two meetings in a same room, so we require at least two rooms so as to schedule all the meetings in this case, right? Now let's go by the second example, that is basically this example. Now similarly, if we represent this in a time range, this would be 7 and 10, that is starting is 7 and ending is 10. Now for the second interval, it is in between 2 and 4, right? Now if we similarly represent 2 and 4, it would somewhat fall in this range. Now we can clearly see that in between these two intervals there is no overlap, correct? So the answer is 1 in this case. Now how do we solve such a kind of problem is, we generally try to use a hash map where we would be tracking the entry point of each interval as 1 and the end of each interval with some special identifier. Let's with some identifier, that is let's say -1, since we are supposed to count the total number of frequencies or the max frequencies in that intervals, right? So let's see how we can utilize the hash map in this case. So let us assume that we initialize a map on an ordered map. Let's take it. Meeting time, and for each of the meetings, what I would be doing is I would mark its starting point as +1 and its ending point as -1, right? Similarly, what I would be doing is I would be for the ending interval, I would be marking it as -1. All right. Now what would be the result of this map once we have basically constructed for the first array, right, first intervals array. So for the first example, my map would basically contain somewhat values like this. That is, for 0 I would be assigning +1. Now for the next, that is 5, I would be assigning again +1. Now for 10, since the person is living at time interval 10, I would be assigning as -1, right. Now similarly for at the next interval 15, I would be assigning again a +1, and similarly at 20 I would be assigning as -1 since the person is leaving, and at 30 similarly I would be assigning as -1 since again the person is leaving. Correct. Now what we would be doing is we would be iterating over each and every element of the meeting time map, and we would cumulatively sum its values, that is 1, that is the value with respect to time interval 0, then with time interval 5, then with 10, and we would be taking the maximum at any time instance, right. Now if we cumulatively calculate the time, it would be, for this it would be 1. Now if we include the next, it would be 1 plus 1 2. For the next I can see that it would be 2 minus 1, that is it would be 1, right. So my maximum till now is 2, which comprises of these two elements. Now when I am including the third, since the person is leaving, it is again becoming -1. Now when I am again including 15, it becomes 2, that is 1 plus 1 2. And when the person 20 is leaving, it is again becoming 1, and when the 30th person is leaving, it is again becoming 0. So the maximum in our case after iterating over all the elements is 2. So our maximum required rooms is 2, and it's our answer, right. So let's quickly code this solution. The solution will be pretty much same the way I described. Let's refactor this a bit. Yeah. Now as I said, I will be basically iterating over each and every element of the map to find its maximum cumulative sum. Correct. Let's call it max sum. Yeah. Alright, let's maintain a variable for this. Yeah. P dot second. Now p dot second would basically would either be 1 when the person is entering, and would be -1 when the person is leaving, right. As we have seen in this example, so it would be just +1 or -1. Now we will be checking whether the current cumulative sum is actually more than the maximum sum or the global maximum sum which we have maintained. If it is so, basically what we will be doing is we would be replacing the maximum sum to this current sum, right. At the end we just need to return the integer value, that is the maximum rooms which are required. So yeah, so this would be our final answer. Yeah. So let's try to run this example. So yeah, it's getting accepted. Now let's try to submit it. Alright, yeah, it got accepted. Yes. So yeah, that's about this question. So in the upcoming videos we will be solving similar questions about sweep-learn algorithms as well as its various variants. So yeah, so that's it for this video. Please subscribe to my channel. Thank you.